So you want to cosplay Rapunzel, and sure, you can wear a normal length wig that goes down to here, maybe here, but it doesn't feel right, does it? But as much as you want to make one of those crazy multi-$100 wigs, you're a cosplayer on a budget. So what do? Don't even worry about it. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a Rapunzel wig for under $50. My wig, braided, clocks in at just under 40 inches and looks pretty darn cute if I do say so myself. If we haven't met yet, hey, I'm Peyton, a professional cosplay pattern maker who focuses on keeping cosplay inclusive for all. I made a Rapunzel cosplay about 2 years ago to test out my Rapunzel sewing pattern, but the wig was so daunting that I never wore the costume anywhere. Finally, this past summer, I decided to tackle the wig in a budget-friendly way, and I'm super happy with the result. So without further ado, let's get into it. Here's what you'll need. A $30 blonde Hatsune Miku wig. I got this one off of Amazon, and it was the most amount of hair I could get for the least amount of money. Wig styling basics. That includes bobby pins, hairspray, hairbrush, crimper, all that stuff. If you're already a cosplayer and you're already styling wigs, you should have these in your arsenal. I also use zip ties in place of hair ties, which is something I learned from drag artists who came before me, but you are more than welcome to use hair ties. It's your wig. I'm not gonna judge. Do whatever works for you. You're also gonna need a 1/4 yard of fabric in a semi-matching color to your hair. This helps to fill out and make your braids look thicker without adding more hair. It doesn't need to be a perfect match since the hair will mostly cover it, just needs to be close enough. My fabric was actually a little bit too yellow for my wig and I could have dyed it, but once again, we're on a budget here, and I kind of like the effect it gave. It almost gave like the hair was glowing from the inside since it was a little bit more yellow than my actual hair, and I got a lot of compliments on it. You're also gonna need a 1/4 yard of tulle in a matching color to your wig. Once again, this doesn't have to be a perfect match because tulle is pretty translucent as it is, but this is the key to keeping your wig neat. You're also gonna need a selection of fake flowers. Mine I bought from the dollar store. I spent about $10 on these bad boys. It was nothing special, and I still have leftover flowers that sit right over there on a shelf. So the first thing you're gonna need to do is you're gonna need to crimp all of that hair. So what I did was I took both of my ponytails off of their little clips and pinned them to a wig head so that I had a sturdy base to work off of. It was my first time ever crimping hair on a wig. I'm not really a wig stylist, and let me tell you, take your time with this and take lots of breaks. I ended up giving myself a carpal tunnel injury because I was crimping my wig for too long in one sitting, and the repetitive motion of clamping the crimper killed my wrist. Then what you want to do is you want to remove the wefts from one of your ponytails. I used a seam ripper, but you're more than welcome to use scissors. Then you're going to want to go between the existing rows of wefts on your other ponytail and glue those wefts you just took out of the first ponytail in. I used hot glue. You are welcome to sew them in, but when you're on a budget and when you have a time constraint, hot glue works just fine. What we want is we want all the hair from both of the ponytails on one ponytail so we have as much hair to work with as possible. Then I created a snap on the top of the braid. What I did was I took a piece of ribbon, I sewed it on the top of the braid, and then I hand sewed in 2 snaps to the braid and 2 snaps to the back of my base wig. This allowed my braid to snap in and out of the wig for easy transport, and it was pretty sturdy all things considered. I didn't have to worry about it falling off at all during the day, and I think that's because I used those really large, like 1 inch wide, heavy duty snaps. I made 3 fabric tubes about yay wide. I'd say they were probably like 1.5 inches, 2 inches wide. They're just long strips cut out, folded in half, sewn along the edge, turned right sides out, and then they're stuffed with cotton batting I already had in my stash. Then, when your fabric tubes are done, you're going to want to split your ponytail in half around the middle of the wefts. You're going to pin that top layer away, and in that middle, you are going to glue your 3 fabric tubes, 1, 2, 3, right next to each other. Once they're all glued together, you can put that hair back down, and now your tubes are in the middle of all your hair and they're ready for the next step. And your next step is you're going to make the tulle sleeves. Now the tulle sleeves are really important to this wig, I like to think, because they're what keeps your wig from getting all those nasty flyaways. With a braid this big, it's gonna take a lot of damage if you're out at a convention, at a photo shoot, and tulle sleeves are an almost invisible technique that you can put over each strand of your braid that prevents flyaways, prevents tangles, and makes it so that you don't have to restyle your wig every single time you wear it. A lot of people say it ruins the look of the wig, but from a distance, you can't tell at all, and not a single person at the convention made a single comment about it. If anybody makes a comment to you about it, hit them with your braid. Then what I did was I split my hair into thirds because we're about to get ready to start braiding. Each third of hair should cover one of those fabric tubes almost entirely, and you can pin the other 2 sections of the way for now because we're gonna work at 1 section at a time. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take that 1 section of hair and we're gonna put the tulle sleeve over top of both the fabric tube and the hair. When you do this, make sure that you spread the hair all the way around that stuffed fabric tube so that none of the fabric tube is showing. You can use hairspray to keep it in place, that's what I did, but I didn't use any glue during this process. It was all entirely hairspray, because the tulle sleeve kind of keeps the hair in place pretty well. Once your tulle sleeve is on, I took a bobby pin and I pinned it in at the top of the wig, and at the bottom of the wig, I used a hair tie to tie up the tulle sleeve, the fabric tube, and the hair all together to make sure that nothing is budging during the process. I then repeated that with the other 2 strands of the braid, and then all of a sudden you've got these weird looking tulle hair tubes, and they're super strange, but you know what? They're gonna turn into something pretty darn cool. Next step is you're gonna take those strands and you're gonna braid them together. Who would have thought? Once you're done your braid, you can tie it up at the bottom. This is where I used one of those zip ties. And then to hide all those hair ties at the bottom, I used a piece of ribbon and just glued it in place around the hair tie to kind of make a more smooth end. You can then take hairspray to the bottom of your braid and sort of just smooth out all that loose hair at the bottom. Now that your braid is styled, you can snap it into the base wig and start styling the base wig. Since the base wig has a bunch of short pieces at the back, I ended up hiding those with flowers later, but for now, just slick them back and style them down as if they were leading into the braid. The flowers will hide that weird transition area. For styling the base wig, it was a lot of crimping, teasing, using a steamer to sculpt, and hairspray. It's the same as styling your basic typical wig. If you don't know how to style a basic typical wig, be very cautious taking on this project. I'm not saying don't take it on, but this project does require some wig styling knowledge to go in. I don't have a ton, but I've also been cosplaying for 10 years, so I've picked up some things along the way. Now comes the fun part, which is detailing your wig. I started by taking some of the flowers off of their stems and gluing bobby pins onto them. I didn't glue bobby pins onto all of my flowers, but I found they were really helpful for the flowers that specifically went into the base wig, as the base wig's going to need more restyling than the braid. For the braid, I ended up using hot glue and gluing them in place all along the braid because the tulle sleeves protect the hair, and if I ever needed to restyle, I could just rip them off the tulle sleeves, make new tulle sleeves, and we're set to go. I kind of smattered my flowers around in whatever felt good. I used a lot of reference images from the movie Tangled, but I also knew that this was my own Rapunzel design, so I wasn't really focused on accuracy. My wig isn't accurate anyway, it was just something fun that I wanted to wear. And then with that, your wig is done. The wig does get very, very heavy, so I do recommend doing proper wig prep before you wear your wig. I wore a silicone wig grip when I wore this wig, and I would not recommend that because if your wig cap shifts back even a little bit, your silicone wig grip is going to latch onto your head instead of your wig grip, and that ended up causing me a lovely little bald spot in my widow's peak that I am still growing out to this day. You're going to want to use a lot of bobby pins, a lot of U-pins, and probably a velvet wig grip to keep this wig on your head. It is a heavy, heavy bad boy, and it is going to pull on your head. So make sure that you are taking breaks, drinking lots of water, and don't be afraid to throw that braid over your shoulder if you need to, in order to take some of that pressure off your head and neck. Please take care of you. It doesn't matter if it doesn't look good or perfect for a second. Your health always comes first before looking good in a cosplay. Also, if you think you've used enough bobby pins in your wig, add 4 more. That seems like a very specific number, but trust me, 4 more. And then pack all your excess bobby pins in a little bag and take that to the con with you. You never know when you might need more bobby pins. Hopefully this little guide was helpful in crafting your Rapunzel wig, and if you use any of these methods, please tag me on any social media at @cospayton. I absolutely love seeing what you guys make with my tutorials and patterns. It genuinely makes my day. If you want to keep up with me and all the cool things I do, make sure you drop a subscribe here on YouTube and follow me on all social medias at @cospayton. As well, I'm currently trying to get into the YouTube partner program, so any likes, comments, shares, subscribes, and turning on the notification bell help me immensely. YouTube has made their partner program requirements absolutely crazy, and I need 4,000 watch hours to join the partner program. It is very daunting, and every little bit helps. Thank you so much for watching, and happy making!